Good morning, students. Today we are going to study an inspirational and a motivational story from your fragrance reader book, that is Ubuntu. Students, you have already done this chapter in your homework, so today we are going to revise this chapter. So students, we will begin our revision by reading pages 13 and 14 today. But before proceeding further, we will discuss the brief summary and detailed summary of the chapter. First of all, we will revise the brief summary of the chapter. Ubuntu is a powerful Laguni Bantu term that means human kindness. It is believed that there is a string that unites all the people of the world. The story begins with an anthropologist who had gone to Africa to study the customs and habits of a tribe there. Students, do you know who is an anthropologist? An anthropologist is a person who studies human race. He got surprised on seeing the cooperation amongst the children when he told the children to bring the candies. So, the children taught the anthropologist the value of humanity and collaboration. Students, now we will move on to the detailed summary of the chapter. Once an anthropologist visited Africa to study the habits and customs of a tribe of Africa. Before going back home, he bought some candies for his children. He was standing at the bus stop waiting for his turn. He saw many children playing. He decided to give them candies. But before that, he wanted to play a game with them. He went to them and showed them the basket of candies. They peeped inside the basket. He kept the basket under the tree and drew a line and asked the children to stand behind it. He told them to have a race. The child who would reach first would win the candies. The children ran towards the basket by holding their hands. They reached the basket together. They shared the candies and ate them happily. The man was surprised and asked the children, "Why did they all run together?" One of the child replied that if one would win, not everyone would be happy. If everyone won, everyone was happy. The man realized that Ubuntu was not just for the people of Africa, but for all of us. It taught us the value of humanity. Students, we will begin with the reading of page number 13. But first of all, we will revise the difficult words and phrases on this page. So let's start. So come to first word at page number 13, that is powerful. Powerful. Powerful, which means very effective. Our next word is kindness. KINDNESS. Kindness, which means gentleness. String, which means series joined together. Our next word is anthropologist. ANTHROPOLOGIST. Anthropologist, which means a person who studies human race. Customs. TOMS, customs, which means traditions. Tribe, which means a group of people living in a particular area. Our next word is tempted, which means attracted. Tempting, 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 which means attractive. Our next word is candies, 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 which means sweets. Packed, it means stuffed. Now we will move on to our phrases of page number 13. Come to the first paragraph, third line. Our first phrase is of the markets, which means bazaar ko. Our next phrase is to leave for home. The meaning is घर के लिए निकलने को. So students, as we have revised the difficult words and phrases on page number 13, we will begin with the reading of this page. So let's start. Once there was an anthropologist. He was studying the habits and customs of a tribe in Africa. He visited one of the markets and was tempted by the candies there. So the anthropologist says, "These sweets and candies are so tempting. I think I will buy them for my children." So the story begins with an anthropologist who had gone to Africa to study the customs and habits of a tribe there. During his visit, he had gone to one of the markets and got attracted by the delicious candies there. He thought of buying those candies for his children. So students, why did the man come to Africa? The man came to Africa to study the customs and habits of a tribe in Africa. Now come to the next paragraph. After buying lots of candies for his children at home, he packed his bags to leave for home. The anthropologist says, "I think I will wait for the bus here." Now the anthropologist had bought lots of candies for his children, so it's the time for him to leave for home. He has packed his bags. He is waiting for the bus at the bus stop. So students, what did the man buy for his children? The man bought lots of candies for his children. Students, I hope you all are clear till page number 13. Now we will move on to page number 14 and similarly revise the word meanings and phrases on that page and then begin with the reading of that page. So come to first word. In the first paragraph there is a word cooperation. COOPERATION. Cooperation, which means working together. Now come to the bottom of the page. There is a word tied, which means attached. The next word is crowded around, which means gathered. Our next word is peeped. PEEP, ed, peeped, which means looked secretly. See the first phrase on page number 14, that is in close cooperation, which means आपसी सहयोग में. Now come to the middle of the page. There is a phrase under that tree, which means उस पेड़ के नीचे. At the bottom of the page also, there are some phrases like in a big round basket, which means बड़ी गोल टोकरी में. The next phrase is peeped into his basket, which means टोकरी में झांकना. So let's begin with the reading of page number 14. While he was waiting, he saw a number of African children playing. He could see that they played in close cooperation with each other. So, when the anthropologist was waiting for the bus at the bus stop, he saw many children playing together. As he saw the children, he smiled to himself. I think I will give the candies to these children, but first I will play a game with them. So, when the anthropologist saw the children, he smiled to himself. He wanted to give those candies to the children, but at first he wanted to play a game with them. Children, come to me. Let's play a game. The man put all the candies in a big round basket. He tied it with a red ribbon. So, the anthropologist called the children. He began the game by putting all the candies in a big round basket and tied it with a red ribbon. Now, I will put this basket under that tree. The children crowded around him and peeped into his basket. So, the man thought of putting that basket full of candies under a tree. The children gathered around the man and looked secretly into that basket. Now, where did the man put all the candies? The man put all the candies in a big round basket. So students, what did the man do after putting all the candies in the basket? The man tied the basket with a red ribbon after putting all the candies in the basket. So students, today we have discussed the brief summary and detailed summary of the chapter, did reading of page number 13 and 14, and also revised word meanings and phrases on these pages. Now, you all have to read this chapter till what we have done today thoroughly for better understanding and learn the word meaning sentences given on page number 12. Thank you. Good morning, students. Today, we will continue with our chapter, Ubuntu. So, open your fragrance reader book at lesson number 2. Students, in our previous session, we have discussed the pages 13 and 14. Today, we will discuss the pages 15 and 16. But before proceeding further, let's recapitulate what we have done in our previous session. We have talked about an anthropologist who visited Africa to study the habits and customs of a tribe there. When he was going back home, he bought some tempting candies for his children. He was waiting for the bus at the bus stop and saw many children playing. He wanted to give those candies to the children, but before that, he thought of playing a game with them. He put all the candies in a big round basket and tied it with a red ribbon. Then he put that basket under a tree. Now students, on the basis of what we have done till now, you will be able to answer these questions. What do you mean by Ubuntu? Why did the anthropologist come to Africa? What did the man buy for his children? For whom did the man buy candies? How were the children playing? What did the man decide to do? Students, now let's begin with our today's objective, that is reading of page number 15 and 16. And similarly, we will revise the word meanings and phrases of these pages. Come to page number 15. There is a word, towards. Now let's do the breakup. Towards, towards, which means in a direction of something. Students, now come to first paragraph of page number 15. There is a phrase, to reach the basket, which means टोकरी तक पहुंचने के लिए. So students, let's begin with the reading of page number 15. The anthropologist said to the children, I am drawing a line on the ground. You have to stand behind this line. When I say go, you have to run. The first to reach the basket will win the candies. As soon as they heard go, the children held hands and ran towards the basket. Earlier we have read that the anthropologist began the game by putting all the candies in a big round basket and tied it with a red ribbon. Further, he drew a line on the ground. On one side of the line there was a basket under the tree, and on the other side there were children. He said to the children that when they would hear go from him, they have to run, and the first to reach the basket would win the candies. So the children ran together towards the basket, and the anthropologist got surprised on seeing them running together. So students, describe the game that the man played with the children. The man put all the candies in a big round basket and tied it with a red ribbon. He asked the children to have a race. The first to reach the basket would win the candies. Why did all the children run together towards the basket? All the children ran together towards the basket because they all wanted to win together. Come to page number 16 for our next word, which is together. T-O-G-E-T-H-E-R, together, which means with each other. Our next word is shared, which means divided. The next word is teamwork. T-E-A-M-W-O-R-K, teamwork, which means working as a team. Our next word is understood. U-N-D-E-R-S-T-O-O-D, understood, which means realized. Now come to page number 16. There is a phrase at the bottom, for the people of Africa, which means अफ्रीका के लोगों के लिए. Now we will begin with our reading of page number 16. They reached the basket together. They shared the candies and happily ate them. So the students began with the race. They reached the basket together and shared all the candies. They happily ate all the candies together. On seeing the children reaching the basket together, the anthropologist got surprised. So he said to children, "Why did you all go together? The first one could have had all the candies. I did not say that this was a teamwork task." The anthropologist said to the children that it was not a teamwork task, as he did not say them to reach the basket together and have all the candies. The first one could have all the candies and ate them. Reading further, the children looked surprised. Finally, one spoke. "How could one of us be happy when the others are sad?" The children looked surprisingly at the man. When the man said that one of them could have all the candies and get them rather than having them together. The man had no reply. He understood what the child meant. If one wins, not everyone is happy. If everyone wins, everyone is happy. He realized that Ubuntu was not just for the people of Africa, but for all of us. When one of the children explained the man, he got speechless. He understood what the child meant. One of the children couldn't be happy if others would be sad. If everyone won, everyone was happy. Finally, the man realized the meaning of Ubuntu. He said that Ubuntu was not just for the people of Africa, but for all of us. It is a strong message for all the generations of the world today. Let all of us always have this attitude and spread happiness wherever we go. Let's have a Ubuntu life. So students, what did the man ask the children after all of them reached the basket together? The man asked the children after all of them reached the basket together, why did they all go together? How were the children able to teach an important lesson to the man? The children were able to teach an important lesson to the man by reaching the basket together. So students, we are done with the chapter Ubuntu. Now we will do one small exercise so that we can get more clarity on this chapter. So come to page number 21. On that page, there is an exercise given, that is write. In this exercise, there is an incomplete conversation between the man and the child. So you all have to complete the incomplete conversation between them. The man says, "Come children, let's." So students, after let's, the dialogue of the man is incomplete. Now we will complete this dialogue. "Come children, let's play a game. The child who wins will get the basket." Now similarly we have to complete the other dialogues also. Like, the child says, "Tell us what is there in the basket." After that the man says, "Are you all curious to win the basket?" It is a simple task. I will place the basket under the tree and you all have to run. The child who reaches first would win the basket. After that, the child says, how could one of us be happy if the others are sad? If everyone won, everyone would be happy. Now, students, at the end, the man has realized the value of Ubuntu. So he says, I am really happy to know that Ubuntu is not just for the people of Africa, but for all of us. So, students, today we have done the reading of pages 15 and 16, and also we have discussed the questions related to these pages. Along with that, we also discussed the exercise right on page number 21. Now, you all have to read this chapter again for better understanding of the chapter and solve the question answers and back exercises according to your SNAP homework schedule. Thank you.